Hello everyone and welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're unpacking something super cool, human-centered design. Have you ever wondered why some things, like your absolute favorite smartphone app, just seem to click instantly with people, while others completely miss the mark? Well, you're in the right place, because we're going to break down the exact architecture behind creating things people actually want and need.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Part 1. What exactly is human-centered design? At its core, it's simply a creative approach to problem solving. The official definition goes like this. It's a creative approach to problem solving that starts with people and ends with innovative solutions tailored to meet their needs. I really want you to let those bookends sink in for a second. It starts with people and it ends with tailored innovative solutions. The whole shebang begins and ends with the exact folks you're trying to reach. It totally flips the traditional script of coming up with a brilliant idea in a vacuum and then trying to hunt down an audience for it.
When you truly commit to understanding your audience, a remarkable shift happens. By designing strictly from their perspective, you arrive at unexpected answers and embraced ideas. It's kind of like, instead of trying to figure out how to build a faster horse, you uncover the need to invent the car. You end up with ideas your audience will absolutely embrace, mostly because, well, you built them based on their own expressed needs.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the dynamic between how you think versus what you do. Human-centered design isn't just some abstract philosophy, and it's definitely not a rigid checklist either. It's actually both a mindset, like a constant state of empathy and curiosity, and a highly actionable process. It's literally a way of looking at the world, paired right up with the tools to actually change it.
So let's lay out what that actionable process looks like. We've got a 3-phase roadmap here. Phase 1 is inspiration, Phase 2 is ideation, and Phase 3 is implementation. This flow takes you all the way from that very first spark of understanding a human need, right through to delivering a finished solution into the real world. Let's walk through each one of these phases together. Let's start at the very beginning. Phase 1, inspiration. This phase is all about learning on the fly. This definitely isn't about sitting in some sterile conference room reading data reports. You've got to get out there and open yourself up to creative possibilities. You're observing people, interacting with them, and really absorbing their realities. And to do that, you have to leave your preconceptions at the door. Actually, scratch that. That's often the hardest part, especially for experts. If you walk in assuming you already know what the problem is, you're going to miss all those subtle, hidden insights people are naturally showing you. And while you're staying wide open to all these possibilities, you have to remember this rule. Remain grounded in the desires of the people you're designing for. That is your North Star. The process is asking you to trust that as long as you maintain that grounding, your initial ideas will organically evolve into the exact right solution. You don't have to force it. You just have to trust the people and trust the process.
All right, so once you're absolutely overflowing with inspiration, we shift gears right into Phase 2, ideation. The focus here shifts dramatically toward making things tangible.
The energy really spikes here. I absolutely love this quote from the source material about this phase. You come up with lots of ideas, some too crazy to work, some too crazy not to try. That's exactly the vibe you want. You want sheer volume here. You generate a massive amount of ideas without judging them right out of the gate. Get them all out on the table, and then you confidently toss out the bad ones and pour all your energy into improving the good ones.
And making things is what actually drives this phase forward. It's a rapid, active loop. You learn, you grow, you test, and you refine. By actively making things, you're constantly challenging your own assumptions. You're pulling ideas out of your head and forcing them into reality, which speeds up your learning and lets you test and refine exactly how everything works.
The ultimate tool here? You need to build a simple prototype to make your idea tangible. And notice I said simple. We're talking a quick cardboard mock-up or a really rough digital wireframe. Not a polished, finished product. Why? Because a simple prototype gives you something physical, something fast to put right back into the hands of the folks you are designing for.
And putting it back in their hands is a total game changer. It's non-negotiable. Without user input, you're basically flying blind. You won't know if your solution is actually on target. But with user input, everything changes. You can keep iterating, testing, and directly integrating their feedback until you've got everything just right. Their input is literally the steering wheel that guides your prototype to perfection.
Which brings us to our final milestone. Phase 3, implementation. Getting your idea out into the world. You've been inspired by the people, you've ideated and tested with the people, and now you have a refined, validated solution. But a great solution doesn't do anyone any good if it stays stuck in a design lab.
So the crucial point is how you execute the rollout. You've got to build partnerships, shore up your business model so the whole thing is actually sustainable, and finally, get your idea out into the world. You're taking all that amazing human-centered validation and backing it up with a rock-solid operational foundation.
As we reach the culmination of this explainer, we really need to look at the big picture. Why everyone benefits. We're talking about solutions that are seamlessly adopted and embraced.
One of the absolute best, most empowering takeaways from this material is that anyone can practice human-centered design. Seriously, you don't need a fancy design degree, you don't need a massive corporate budget, and you certainly don't need a specific job title. This mindset and this three-step process is something anyone, in literally any field, can pick up and use to solve problems more effectively.
And the reason this methodology is so universally celebrated is because it gets us all to solutions that are readily adopted and deeply embraced. Because you start with people and rigorously use their feedback, you don't have to force behavior change to fit a new product. You've built a product that perfectly fits human behavior. And that is a win for the designer, a win for the business, and for sure a massive win for the end user.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to take into your day, your next meeting, or your next big project. Ask yourself honestly, are your solutions designed from their perspective? Are you really starting with the people you're trying to reach, or are you just starting with your own assumptions? Keep this question front and center, and just watch how it transforms the way you build for the world. Thanks so much for joining me in this explainer. Keep designing with empathy, and I can't wait to explore more incredible insights with you next time.